Finally, I want to talk about shared values. I speak about this last not because it is the least important of the three pillars I have outlined, but because it is the most important. I hope this will be the freshest thing in all of your minds when I finish. Shared values are the reason that our relationship has flourished, and the reason that the United States and the Czech Republic can cooperate so readily in so many different fields. Our most important shared values are freedom, democracy, and human rights. Both of our countries were founded on ideas about individual freedom, democratic governments, and human dignity. Having peacefully become a vibrant democracy after years of bitter suffering at the hands of Nazis and communists, the Czechs have an important story to tell. Before the eyes of a mesmerized world in 1989, the path to democracy passed, most memorably, through Prague. I believe it still does and always will. I have found Prague to be a fount of ideas about advancing freedom and democracy in the 21st century. I want to contribute to that already vibrant discussion and debate to support Prague's role as an intellectual center, a global intellectual center, where the best minds in Europe and the United States and the world can meet. Not just to talk to each other, although that's very important, not just to discuss, not just to debate, but to produce innovative policy proposals that can carry into the 21st century the ideals of freedom that were on such prominent display in Prague in the 20th century. That's true both in the Sametova Revoluce and in the incredibly successful years that have followed it. I want to work with you to generate ideas that have concrete applications. Here again, as in the strategic and defense realm, and as in the commercial and economic realm, the emphasis must be on concrete and specific projects that we can work on together in the multilateral context that have application with the potential to profoundly affect the lives of those in the Irans and Cubas and Burmas of the world where people have yet to taste full freedom. This intellectual and policy ferment invests free nations with a sense of purpose, and that enables us to nurture and strengthen the governmental and non-governmental institutions that can foster real change in the world. To do that, we need to work with the rich web of existing governmental and non-governmental institutions in our two countries, but also develop new ones that bring together the best and the brightest from the right, the left, and the center. When they all come together, as we say in the United States, may the best ideas win. My own experience is that when we move beyond ideology to discuss specific problems and their policy solutions, good ideas come from every point on the spectrum. We have reason for optimism. Freedom, democracy, and human rights remain a powerful force in the world. In recent days, we have witnessed the transformative power of these ideals in the streets of Cairo. The American Revolution and the Velvet Revolution anchored our two countries in the free world, opening the way for prosperity and economic opportunity, fostering liberty. Not all revolutions end like that. Our hope is that the Egyptian Revolution anchors that great nation in the free world, betters the economic life of its people, and serves as a beacon for human rights in that part of the globe. As two nations that had successful revolutions, the United States and the Czech Republic should find ways we can jointly support that hope. In speaking of our shared values, I cannot fail to mention that in both of our countries and in other places in Central Europe, a corrosive phenomenon still threatens our achievements. I am speaking about the lack of governance and about corruption. I know because I have spent the better part of my career fighting corruption and promoting transparency in the United States. I can tell you, I always say this when I address this subject, but it is true, we in the United States are far from perfect. In both of our nation, corruption looms when public officials make decisions for reasons other than the public interest. The public interest, as I learned in my service in the United States, this was the principle for which we fought every day, the public interest should be the touchstone of government decision-making. Corruption threatens economic cooperation by discouraging investment, reducing productivity, and stifling job growth. In short, corruption impedes democracy and prosperity. It subverts the political and economic freedoms that both our nations so cherish. I was very, very proud to help lead the Obama administration's efforts on government integrity and transparency. And I am so excited to be here in the Czech Republic at a time when the Czech government is battling corruption and seeking to promote transparency. Your Parliament and your Interior Ministry recently announced measures to increase transparency by putting contracts for public tenders online for all to see. The government will put forward and Parliament will debate a range of measures to battle corruption and increase transparency, including in public procurement. I offer all of you, the Czech government, the Czech people, all of the Czech political parties, my full support and the support of my entire embassy and of the United States as these efforts move forward. We stand with the Czech ministers, parliamentarians, prosecutors, judges, police, and non-governmental organizations that promote transparency and fight corruption, no matter their party affiliations. We will continue to foster dialogue as Czech officials weigh what answers are right for your country. Because we have much to learn from this dialogue and from some of the innovations that you are considering, we will invite US experts to visit and to engage in a conversation. Never a lecture, always a two-way conversation. When the insights of those experts are useful, we will gladly offer them. In this light, US experts on public and defense procurement will not only compare experiences and discuss best practices with their Czech counterparts, but also share hard-earned lessons from cases in the US. Our experts will also participate in the public discussion about crafting procurement rules to ensure that Czech taxpayer money is put to the best and most efficient use. And we will study the breakthroughs that you are working on so we can take those ideas back to the United States so that our taxpayer money can also be put to the best use. Every expert that visits will take back valuable ideas and lessons about Czech innovations in these areas that can also benefit the US and the world. In the days and weeks ahead, I hope to explore with you the ways that we can work together to shine the transformative light of our shared values of freedom, democracy, and human rights into those places that still remain dark in the 21st century. We will start by doing that when we, in a few moments, have our question and answer session, which symbolizes to me the give and take, the listening that is necessary in order to pursue these goals. This is an evolving set of goals that benefits from the good ideas that have been offered so far and that will be continued to offer to us here in the Czech Republic. Those goals, though, are informed by a vision, and this is it, that there is a spectrum of deepening cooperation that draws upon the many strengths of our two countries, that we together enhance bilateral security, increase commerce, and extend the reach and influence of our shared values. That we have a dialogue and then proceed to action about specific projects in each of those three areas that live up to the finest traditions of our two nations and of the friendship between our two nations. That is a privilege and an honor to be a part of that conversation in my capacity as the United States Ambassador in the Czech Republic. I look forward to working with each of you in this room and with all of those here in the Czech Republic to build on what is for Americans a very special relationship. My ambition is to make that relationship not just good, but once again great. That and nothing less is demanded by the standard of friendship established for the first time by Presidents Masaryk and Wilson and carried forward today and into the future by all of us. Děkuji za vaši pozornost. Thank you very much for your attention. And with that, I will turn the microphone back over for questions. Thank you.